what's that message that you want to put out there for a seller, right? What's that unique selling proposition that you want to put out there for that seller? So the seller could say, no, you guys all good? All right. So I want to continue our conversation. We're going over the recap of the summit. Number 6 that in the list of the 9 macro challenges that realtors are having is the power of leverage and the decision. And what that simply means is 62% of all consumers have decided well before you actually meet with them in person, whether they're going to work with you or not. And that's something to think about it. They've made the decision even before you've walked in the door, right? And, you know, for many of us, that's great. They've already decided to pick you. But why is that the case? What's the message? What are you putting out there? How are you controlling the narrative of what people see? Now, there's things such as your pre-listing package that can be sent out ahead of time where people can see who you are and what you're going to do to market their home. But I would say going beyond that is how are you being viewed at from the general public? And this is branding. We're going to be talking about branding a lot today. How do you brand yourself? Right? I mean, our job as realtors is to educate. So what do we educate? And I want you to write this down. There's 4 things that we need to be educating every single day to our client, to the general public. That is, 1 would be the market. Having an understanding of your marketplace and sharing that, putting that message out there. So your market would be something that we need to educate people on. The second thing we should be educating people is the current home buying process. Now, has it changed? Absolutely. If you're in a marketplace where inventory is low, the way you work with buyers now is different than if it was a buyer's market. So we need to start educating on what is that new strategy that you're going to follow. Okay. The third thing that we're going to be educating people on is what we do differently from all other agents. What separates you from the rest? Right. And the 4th thing that we want to be educating people on is your strategy to helping a buyer get that deal, get that home, right? As we're walking into a market, well, we've been in the market now, that you need to be a little bit more creative to getting your offer accepted. You can't just walk in there like everybody else in the line. You know, if there's 5 offers on a property, how do you separate your buyer from that person, from the other offers? What's the strategy you're going to be using? So those are 4 really powerful messages that you want to be putting out in out there through video, through social media, through posts, putting that message out there, right? Remember this. The market is changing to a skill-based market. You need to grow your skills. You need to develop your skills. Okay, so any suggestions on how to get other, is that what you're referring to, Jen? Is how do we get the seller to accept your offer versus someone else? Okay. Let me ask what do you guys do? What do you guys do to make your offer shine versus everyone else's?
Video presentation.
Sorry, say that again, William.
Using like a bomb video presentation of your buyer, sending it to the seller, the seller's agent.
Love that. I think that's a brilliant idea. Having a video where you're being a little bit more, what's the word? As opposed to just sending a letter saying, hey, my buyers are this, you're actually putting their video. This is my buyer. This is why they want to buy your place, right? And for some, that's important. Yeah, right. Depending on who that seller is. Anything that you can do to separate from the buyers. I love that video. Anything else that you can think of?
With 50K above the last price.
Yeah, going over and above the price would be one. Okay, that's without question. Well, we're looking for ways that where if you're all at the same price point, how do you make yours stand out? And what I would say to that is it comes down to you as a realtor reaching out to the other agent and establishing a relationship, right? It really comes down to, your track record, right? Are you easy to work with? Or do agents view you as very difficult to work with? And that's really a big one, Jen, I would say, is when other agents view you, how do they view you? Right. And if you can start establishing yourself as that agent, hey, they make the deal happen. They're always answering their calls. They're always going to be there for you. Right. The other agent on the other end would want to do business with you and would steer you. So those are the three things that you can look into changing. If you want to get into more, Tom actually discussed it in the at the event. I got to go back to my notes. I don't have them right now. All right. Last thing here. When it comes to your branding to the marketplace, to your branding to the general public, understand that humans want to have some sort of certainty. So what can you put out there that starts to create certainty in the market? Right. Again, going back to your strategies. Next, we wrote down is when it comes to branding, I want you to understand this, that we are in the business of marketing. We are in the business of marketing. Now, marketing is not advertising. Big difference. Some of you go, what? You go, no, marketing is not advertising, right? What do we actually make happen? We make a difference in people's lives. So when you want to start marketing, right, we want to be looking at being that person, that realtor, the knowledge broker that they can go to because we're changing their lives. We're making it better for them. So if that's the case, then who do you have to become for your clients to create that certainty, to create that, hey, this is the right person for the job? What's that message you need to be putting out there? Right. And we get a lot of stuff where people are posting on social, agents are posting on social. Hey, I'm at this restaurant. Here I am. That's not branding. That's more a social status. It's an update of where I'm at. We need to look at the branding as that message that we're putting out there to the consumer. Right. So what's the brand? What's the message that you want to be putting out to the consumer about you? What's that unique selling proposition that you want to put out there about you? And of course, the message needs to be different for a buyer and for a seller, right? So making a list of what's resonating with your buyers right now, such as what we talked about, separating yourself with a strategy on how to get your offers accepted, putting out that message, putting out videos on what you do differently. But then again, let's flip it to for a seller. What's that message that you want to put out there for a seller? Right? What's that unique selling proposition that you want to put out there for that seller? So the seller can say, William, he's my agent. Right? I love the message he's putting out there. I love the content he's putting out there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Right? And how do you know what they're looking for? How do you know what they're looking for? Have any of you ever tried sending out a survey to your past clients? See, knowing why they selected you. And some of you just said, so why'd you pick me? Oh, yeah, I was referred to. No, get deeper with them. What was their problem? What was the issue that they had? And you are a solution to them, right? That's awesome, Jen. I'm glad you did that. So putting out there, hey, so now when you find out from the client, hey, this is what's resonating with them. This is what's important for that client. Awesome. So now what's the message I want to put out there to say that I can answer that problem? I can solve that problem for you, right? What else did I write down here? Remember that your brand, people are looking for you separating yourself from the big box stores, let's say, right? Let's say the iBuyers, the discount brokerage, right? How do you differentiate yourself with them? You become a hyper local specialist. It's all about the community. It's all about networking within your community. So when you put out content, I can't stress this enough, folks. Don't just put it out there and smile, right? You got to go in and you got to be engaging with people. When someone makes a comment, you make a comment back, right? It's part of the community. It's networking. That's what you're doing. So every piece of content you put out there, every advertising you put out there, any ad you put out there, you need to be having that engagement. It's all about creating yourself as that local specialist. Hey, that I'm like a neighbor. I could come over. Hey, you need some sugar? Here's a cup of sugar, right? I want to be that neighbor. I want to be like that with the consumer. Here, I also wrote down that I love this. This is a quote from Seth Godin. He said, "I'm not talented. I am simply skilled and passionate." What are you passionate about? What resonates with you? Put that content out there. Remember, when it comes to building your brand, this is your voice. This is your mind, your heart, your face. You are the brand. And the content you put out there is key to attracting those that are like-minded. If you want to work with people like yourself, be yourself. Don't try and be someone else. Don't try and change who you are. Be you. Remember so I'm going to share some branding tactics for you. Okay, some branding tactics. So number one is content is the information that makes you the knowledge broker. So be very specific on your content. Like I said, not eating in a restaurant is not content. That's just simply a status update. So you need to have meaningful content. Guys, I can't stress it, meaningful content. Another thing would be look at all the other things you do. Aside from social media posts, what about the emails you send your clients? If you continuously send the boring ass emails of market update, market update, market update, which to be honest with you, if I have no interest in selling, I don't care about that crap. I really don't. So what is some good content you could put out there that's not always the same status quo? That's not the same, market update. What can you put out there? Some suggestions would be if you talked about something on social, do a recap as an email with some social, do some video on your emails, right? Another thing for branding, look at be more personal with your current database. We neglect them. They're on social, but take it to the next level with them, right? Tag them on social, repost what they're posting. Again, getting yourself more personal with your audience. And one of the best things you can do as a branding tactic is give free stuff away. And what I mean by that is create some reports, create something that anyone, even if you're not thinking of selling, can use. Like, for example, how to generate wealth in real estate. Where should you be investing? What should you be doing in, with your home as a maintenance? Have like a maintenance to-do list for your house for the winter time. Like, have this as a PDF where I can go in and download it from you, right? I would provide some valuable. We constantly get information from all sources. Like all the time we're getting information from our real estate boards to our real estate companies to even like the national companies are giving us stuff, right? But what do? We kind of glance at it and throw it aside. Why not make it out a publication for yourself? Make it a PDF that you can send it to people, right? Hype that. So start giving away more information. Start giving away valuable information that people can use in their everyday life, right? I went to a seminar where they talked about nothing to do with real estate, everything to do with wealth building, right? And he talked about how you need to invest in stocks, you need to invest in bonds, you need to invest. Like, there was all different things. And they talked about taxes as well. And I thought it was really interesting. And they gave us some, tons and tons of information. I made it into a PDF and I just fired it off to all my database. Everyone, it was in an email. They can download it. I paid like $1,000 for this webinar. I put it on paper and I sent it off to them. So things like that, where you're giving value back to your clients, put it out there. All right. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, hallucinations? No? Tomorrow's gonna be fun. We're gonna be talking about wealth. We're gonna talk about how to build wealth in real estate. We're gonna be talking about that next tomorrow. All right. So if that's the case, can everyone please unmute themselves? Unmute yourselves. Not everyone's there it is. There it is. Jeffrey, you gotta unmute yourself. All right, unmute yourself. So, what day is it today?
Money making day.
That's right. It's a money making day. If you're on this call, it's a money making day for you. What do you need to do today to help you move the needle, to get your brand out there so people can start saying, that's the person I want to work with? You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a powerful day.
Thanks, Danny.